Hello students. In my last class we started with the study of algae, where we studied about the general features of the algae, and also we studied some of the type studies under the different divisions in algae. So today let us study about some of the symbiotic algae. Today we shall discuss about lichens. So you all know the lichens. These are the symbiotic association with algae and fungi that we know from past many years would have studied. So here this lichens, the word lichen is derived from Greek meaning mosses, tree mosses. So you all know lichen is a symbiotic association between a fungi and an algae or the cyanobacterium, where these two organisms, usually green algae or blue-green algae, along with the fungi, especially Ascomycetes fungi or a Basidiomycetes fungi, they associate and form the distinct thallus. You know, the symbiosis is a mutual relationship between the two organisms where both the organisms are benefited because of their association. So here in the lichens, as I had mentioned, these lichens have been formed due to the association of two different organisms. One is a fungi, it's called as mycobiont. It's termed the fungal partner, two different partners, as I had mentioned. The fungal partner is termed as mycobiont, and the algae, usually the green algae or cyanobacterial partner, is termed as the photobiont or phycobiont. So what are the role, why they have been associated with each other, why they are symbiotic, how they have been mutually benefited? The fungal partners, as you know, the fungi or achlorophyllous organism, where they are usually saprophytes or parasites. They depend on other organism or decaying food material the plants and animal remain for their growth and development. Hence, as they do not have chlorophyll pigment in them, they have to depend upon the other organism for its nutrition. Hence, the mycobiont, that is the fungal partner, is dependent on the algal partner. The algal partner, that is phycobiont, or it is also called as photobiont. Why it is called as photobiont? You know, algae or the group of organism where they have an ability of synthesizing their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Hence, the algae provide them the food by the process of photosynthesis. In turn, the fungi helps the algae by absorbing the nutrition, and also it provide the shelter for this algae and also keep the algae moist. Hence, both the organism has been benefited. The person who study this lichens is called as lichenologist, and the study of the lichens is called as lichenology. There are around 18,000 lichen species has been distributed all over the world. It has been estimated that there are 30,000 species, and many species of lichens has to be still explored. Then, coming to the morphology, the lichens occur in variety of form. Their color may range from dull grey or sometimes pale white or even creamish in color, brilliant brown, brilliant yellow, orange, red in color. I will show you a few of the images you could see over there. And this particular lichens where actually they grow, that is the habitat. You can find them on the bare rocks. So you know, these are an organism which they dwell on the bare rock, and these are the one of the organism which are initially involved in the process of the weathering of the rock. The what weathering of the rock in the sense breaking the rock materials into the small particles. So these are the first organisms which can start growing on the bare rocks on the desert. And also you would have seen, if you go towards the hill stations and all, you could see the big mountains or big rocks and all, where you can find white patches here and there. That is nothing but the lichens. You can also find them on frozen substrate in the polar region, tree trunk, and all this also you would have observed. On the tree trunk, you can see them, the white patches here and there, which is the common lichens which you can see on the tree trunk and also on the rock, building, on the soil sometimes. These are the places where actually you can see these lichens. You can classify these lichens based upon the habitat, or the place where actually they dwell. You can call them as, you can classify them as Saxicolous, Corticolous, Terricolous. What is this Saxicolous? These are the lichens which usually grow on the rocks. These, you can see some of the lichens. This is the normal lichens which we would have already seen, isn't it? These are commonly called as, they are termed as Saxicolous. What are Saxicolous lichens? These are the one which usually their habitat is on the rock. Corticolous. What are Corticolous lichens? These are the lichens which you can find them growing on the bark of the trees. This is also very much common which we would have observed. The Corticolous lichens. Terricolous, on the soil, or terrestrial, on the soil, sometimes on the damp soil you can, sometimes on the soil you can see them growing. Those lichens are called as terricolous. Once again I will repeat, based upon the habitat, the lichens can be classified as Saxicolous lichens, Corticolous lichens, Terricolous. Saxicolous, the lichens which are found on rock, Corticolous on the barks of the trees, Terricolous on terrestrial habitat, especially on the soil. And also you can classify them as they with which partner they have been associated. So according to Poillet in 1977, he has recognized the association of two members of symbiosis, one algae and one fungus. Three-membered of association, one algae, two fungi or two algae can be associated. Sometimes there are few lichens where there is an association of four members, two algal partners and two fungal partners. So these however the mandatory is they should have one algal and the fungal partner, or it can be a three-membered symbiosis, one algae, that is either a cyanobacteria or a green algae, or two fungi, or vice versa. There are four-membered symbiosis, two different kinds of algae and two different kinds of fungi. So yeah, so lichens can be classified based upon which fungal partner has been associated with the formation of the thallus. You can classify them as ascolichen. You can classify them as ascolichen, basidiolichen. What are these ascolichen? So here the fungal partner, if you could see this particular image, Peltigira species, you can find some cup-like structures, isn't it? Can you see some cup-like structures here and there? These are nothing but the ascocarp. There, in the formation of this lichen, the fungal partner which belongs to the subdivision Ascomycotina. Hence, such group of lichens are called as ascolichens. Likewise, we have basidiolichens. Basidiolichen, say for example, in Dictyonema glabrum species, glabrum. Here the fungal partner, what we could see here, that is made up of, that is the thallus, the fungal partner belongs to Basidiomycetes fungi. Hence, such kind of lichens are called as basidiolichens. Another example, there are many examples, only few I have quoted over here. There is multiclavata species. This is the what I could see, the association is with the multiclavata vernalis species. Vernalis, this is one of uh, the the organism, the fungal partner is a Basidiomycetes fungi. See, you can see here the basidiocarp. These are basidiocarp, and they produces the spores. We have studied that, and they produces the special kind of spores called as basidiospores from a structure called as basidia. And these basidia are formed from a special fruiting body called as basidiocarp. Hence, because of this property, this group of lichens has been placed under are called as basidiolichens. Once again, the lichen symbiosis has got two different partner. One is, as you know, mycobiont, that is the fungal partner. The fungal partner may belong to the subdivision Ascomycotina or Basidiomycotina. If they produce ascospores in a special structure called as asci from a fruiting body called as ascocarp. They have been placed under ascolichens, and if they are producing basidiocarp as the thallus of a lichen, then it is called as basidiolichens. The phycobiont, that is the algal partner, as I was mentioning, it could be the algal partner, could be either a blue-green algae or a green algae. So here I have listed out few examples, only few examples I have given. Green algae, that is cyanobacteria like nostoc, anemona, stygonema, gliocaps. Many other species have been associated as an algal partner. Green algae, especially chlorella, Triboxia, Pleurococcus, Cystococcus, Xantheria species have been found associated with the lichens for the process of symbiosis. Then, based upon the kind of thallus they have, the lichens can be classified or can be grouped as crustose lichen, foliose lichen, fruticose lichen. What are these crustose lichen? You can see the thallus. This is the thallus of the lichen. They are thin. You can look at the image also. They are thin. They are flat without any lobes. You can see the margin of this particular lichen. You cannot see any such lobes, whereas here you can see the lobes, isn't it? So here, because of its flat thallus without any lobes, they are called as crustose lichen. Likewise, we have foliose lichen. Here the thallus is flat, they are lobed, and they are leaf-like, twisted leaves attached to the substratum with the help of rhizinae. Remember, with the help of rhizinae, that is the root-like structures, when rhizoids, here it is called as rhizinae. With the help of rhizine, they get attached onto the substratum. They are flat, lobed, leaf-like, they are twisted. Example, Xanthoria species, Picea species, Peltigira species, Parvilia species, etc. These are some of the foliose. Foliose, the name indicates leaf-like. They are flat, lobed, twisted, attached to the substratum with the help of rhizinae, whereas here such kind of rhizoid-like structure is completely lacking in case of crustose lichen. Then coming to the fruticose lichen. Fruticose lichen. So here if you see the lichens, they are slender. You can see they are slender, and they are freely branched. They are not flat. Remember, they are not leaf-like. They are not leaf-like. They are slender, freely branched. Branches may be cylindrical. They may be, see, you could see the thallus, it is cylindrical. They can be cylindrical or tape-like, tape in the sense flat ribbon-like structure, or it can be thread-like, attached to the substratum with the help of disc. Attachment disc. Here in this image you couldn't see that. There will be the structure called as attachment disc. With the help of this attachment disc, this particular lichens attach onto the substratum. Whereas in case of Crustos, no such attachment, there is no special structure for the process of attachment. Entire thallus has been found attached, firmly attached onto the substratum. Whereas here, there are special structure called as rhizinae for the process of attachment. And whereas here, there is an attachment disc for the process of attachment. And also here, the thallus is highly branched. It may be thread-like, ribbon-like, cylindrical, and they have a attachment disc. And some of the examples: Usnea species, Cladonia, Ramalina, etc. These are some of the fruticose lichens. Then coming to the anatomy, that is, how you could see these lichens if you take a section, transverse section, if you take and observe it under the microscope, how actually the thallus look. There are two different kinds of thallus. This plays a major role in taxonomy or the delimitation of this lichens into different groups. That is homoisomerous, heteromerous lichens. Homoisomerous lichens. So here example is Colima leptogium species. Here, if you take a transverse section and if you observe it under the microscope, there is no separate zone for algal partners. The entire hyphae of the fungi as well as the algal cells has been mixed together, and it is isomerous. Hence it is called as homo or homoisomerous lichens. Whereas in case of heteromerous lichens, there is a special layer which is meant for the algal partners, and also the hyphae which has been made by the fungal partner can be distinguished into the upper cortical region, lower cortical region, and in middle the hyphae is loosely bounded and it is called as medulla, and you have a special region that is rhizoids are present or rhizinae is present, which has an ability of fixing that particular thallus onto the substratum. And another important thing is there is a separate zone for algal partner, whereas here there is no separate zone. All the hyphae cannot be distinguished into the medulla region or the upper and lower region. Algal partners, algal cells as well as the fungal hyphae has been intermingled with each other. Hence it is called as homoisomerous lichen. Whereas heteromerous lichen, there is a distinction between the upper and the lower cortex as well as the medulla, and there is a special layer for the association of this algal partners with the fungi. Then how actually these lichens reproduce? They undergo a process of vegetative reproduction, that is by the process of fragmentation. That is, if the lichen by mechanical any way, due to some errors or any way, if gets fragmented, each of the fragment can develop into a new individual. And there are some other methods called as Soridia, Isidia, Pycnidia formation. Now let us study each one of the method of reproduction in detail. What is this Soridia? See, you can see this is the transverse section of the lichen. You can see upper layer of the thallus, lower layer, and the loosely interwoven region called as medulla region you can see, and there is a separate layer algal, which we can see the layer of algal partners. So here during the process of Soridia formation, what happen is the algal partners, say for example these are algal partners, algal partners gets associated, that is the surface of the algae is being coated or interwoven by the fungal hyphae, and such structures are called as Soridia, where upon the rupture of the upper layer of the fungal hyphae, fungal upper cortical region is being ruptured. From these Soridia carrying the fungal hyphae surrounding them, they are released outside. Once they release outside, the fungal partner start growing and the algae also get associated with it, and they form a thallus, and such structures are called as soridia. Soridia, that is the algal partner, the where the vegetative cell of an algal partner gets associated, or the fungal hyphae gets interwoven on the surface of the algae. Such structures are called as soridia. In case of isidia, what happened during the process of isidia formation? The upper cortical region of the fungal partner undergoes a process of undulation. See, you can see some they get undulated, the wave like the structure. They undergo process of undulation, or they form a knot like structures, imagine. And into this undulated region, or a knot like region which has been formed, the algal partner, which are found just beneath the upper cortex, enters into this structure, budded structure. Later, this fungal partner containing the algal partner get detached from the parental thallus. Now, such structure where the fungal partner is being covered, where the algal partner is being covered over by the fungal partner, such structures are called as isidia. Once again, I will repeat. So, in some of the algae, say for example, in case of Peltigira species, the upper cortical region, that is the fungal partner, undergo a process of undulated. They get undulated. Into this undulated structure, the algal partner enters. This undulated structure gets detached from the parental thallus, and they germinate and they grow and develop into a new individual, and the such structure is called as isidia. Likewise, we have one more method of asexual reproduction, that is by the formation of pycnidium, where you can come across this kind of reproduction in case of Physia species. So where, as we know, pycnidium is some flask-like structure, where in this flask-like structure you can see the formation of some structures called as spermagonium, or from the spermagonium or a pycnidium, the spermatium are formed. Spermatium, that is spores, have been formed. These spores, once they are released outside, they can develop into a new individual. That is the method of reproduction in some of the lichens. So the asexual reproduction or the vegetative reproduction takes place by the process of fragmentation, or by soridia formation, isidia formation, or pycnidia formation, where inside the pycnidia some spermatium are produced. This spermatium can develop into a new individual. There is another method of sexual reproduction where it may basically based upon the kind of the fungal partners they have. If they are ascolichens, the method of reproduction has it happen in case of ascomycetes fungi, that is maybe by the process of dikaryotic mycelium formation, and asci formation, ascocarp formation, ascospore formation. This and the ascospores, once they are released outside, they can develop into a new individual. If it is a basidiolichen, again the somatogamy happened, dikaryotic cell has been formed, which leads to the formation of the secondary mycelium, that is dikaryotic mycelium, basidiocarp formation, basidia formation, where inside basidia karyogamy happen, followed by basidiospore formation happen after the process of meiosis. These basidiospores, upon release and fall on the suitable substratum, they can grow into a new individual. Sexual reproduction basically based upon the type of algae or the type of the fungal partners, whether it is a ascomycetes or a basidiomycetes fungi they have. Likewise, till now we studied what these algae are, how it has been grouped based upon the kind of thallus, based upon the fungal partner, and based upon the place they dwell, based upon the habitat. We have and also we studied the anatomy of this particular lichen, and we studied about the reproduction in case of lichen, both by vegetative or asexual and by sexual methods. Then coming to the economic importance of these lichens, still uh, lots of importance of these lichens are there. Still large amount of research has to happen in this particular field, starting from the study of their diversity, starting from the study taxonomy of this particular organism. Still it has to be explored, many lichens has to be still more explored, and also we have to explore their importance also. Very few research, I mean, not many much of the research has happened in this particular field. We can explore these lichens and study their importance also. However, the some of the importance of these lichens, they, some of the lichens, say for example oak moss lichen, in the this image you could see the moss lichen. It has been used in the production of the perfumes. They contain essential oils, and also they are used in the production of the soap, because of the very good odor they have, and also the essential aromatic oil it has. So it has been extensively used in the production of perfumes. And there are many species of lichens, different lichens which has got medicinal properties also. And there are certain lichens, have shown some of the lichens in this particular image also. It has been extensively used as a natural dye, so especially in European countries where they are using this particular dyes. They extract the dyes from these lichens, and they are using this as a natural dyes for especially for the dyeing of woolens, dyeing of silk fabrics, etc. And another important thing of this lichen is they are used as a biological indicators to see the pollution, whether that particular area has got polluted or not. And also this particular lichen has been extensively used, for example Rossilla tinctoria, as I have shown in this particular image. Rossilla tinctoria has been extensively used in the production of orson, where this is one of an important dye in which has been used in cytological stains. And there is one more species called as Rossilla montagni. This is one of a lichen which has been used as a litmus in biological laboratories, used as acid base indicators. And we have one more interesting thing to know about this lichen. There are some species, Usnea, that is commonly called as old man beard, where this is one of a lichen which causes the forest fire because it is easily inflammable, which catches fire. Hence it is also called as forest fuse. Apart from that, to sum up the economical importance of these lichens, they are used as biological indicators to see the rate of pollution, whether that particular area, that particular region has polluted or not. More the lichens grown in that region indicates less pollution. They, as I was mentioning, these are the first organisms which usually dwell on the rock, barren rock. They helps in the process of weathering of the rock, and also improves the fertility of the soil. And there are certain lichens, as I had mentioned. There is a lichen called as Rossilla montagni. This has been used as litmus, as acid base indicator. And these lichens are also used as food, where there are certain lichens, say for example reindeer moss. This is reindeer moss. It's called as the botanical name, or the scientific name is Cladonia rangiferina. This is one of a reindeer moss. And you have Iceland moss, that is Sarteria icelandica, Parmelia species. This is one of the lichens. See this one, Parmelia. This is one of the lichen extensively used as spice in South India. This you would have seen your mothers using this as a spice in their kitchen, especially in preparing some spicy food, especially the non-veg biryanis and all. They use for the preparation of garam masala and all. They use this parmelia. That is nothing but the Parmelia. Usually here in Karnataka and all, usually we will call it as some kalluva, means flower from the rock, kalluva. Okay, so likewise we have there are many species of lichens, only few I have listed out here. Still large amount of research should happen. Still there are large research papers also has been published with the role of this particular lichens in medicine. Some of it, for say for example in Usnea cladonia species, they produce usnic acid, which has got a broad spectrum of antimicrobial activity. Likewise, we have Lobaria pulmonaria, and you have Peltigira camana species. Camana. These are some of the lichens which has been extensively used in the treatment of jaundice, fever, diarrhea, epilepsy, and skin diseases. So this is about the lichens. So where in this particular video lecture we studied what lichens are, and which are the different partners in the lichens, how actually they have been associated, the symbiosis, how actually which are the partners in the lichens we studied about the different groups of lichen, starting from their symbiotic partners, mycobiont, phycobionts, and based upon the type of thallus it has got, we have grouped them as crustos, folios, fruticose lichens. And also we grouped this particular lichens based upon the substratum where actually it would dwell. We studied the anatomy of this particular lichens and the reproduction. We studied about the methods of asexual and the sexual reproduction, and finally we studied their economic importance. Thank you students for your patience to listen this lecture. Thank you.